Jordyn Woods just did something the Kardashians thought was physically impossible, and the way Jordyn Woods did it should be studied in every business school in the country. Jordyn Woods didn't just win. Jordyn Woods walked back into the same room that tried to bury Jordyn Woods, sat down at the table the Kardashians cleared out for Jordyn Woods, and made every single one of the Kardashians watch Jordyn Woods eat the entire meal in silence. Let that sink in for a second, because what you're about to hear is the cleanest, coldest, most beautifully executed revenge arc in modern celebrity history, and almost nobody is connecting the dots the way Jordyn Woods quietly connected them over the last 6 years. Hold on, because I have to set the scene before the receipts start dropping. Rewind all the way back to 2019. Jordyn Woods is 21 years old, sleeping in Kylie Jenner's guest house, basically being marketed to the entire world as Kylie Jenner's emotional support best friend, and in one single night Jordyn Woods becomes the most hated woman on the entire internet. Khloe Kardashian goes scorched earth. Khloe Kardashian's mother goes scorched earth. The entire family machine, which is the most efficient PR weapon ever assembled in modern entertainment, pivots and aims everything Khloe Kardashian's family owns at one young black girl who made one bad decision at a house party. Not Tristan Thompson, the man who actually had a pregnant girlfriend at home. Not Tristan Thompson, the man with a baby on the way and an active roster of side situations on rotation. The blame lands on Jordyn Woods. The family tries to end Jordyn Woods' career in one weekend. And for a minute, it almost worked. Jordyn Woods got pulled off Kylie Jenner's lip kit campaigns overnight. Jordyn Woods watched brand deals evaporate, the kind of deals that take years of relationship building to put on paper. Jordyn Woods sat across from Jada Pinkett Smith on Red Table Talk with tears in those eyes, saying Jordyn Woods was drunk. Jordyn Woods made a mistake. Jordyn Woods was trying to protect Khloe Kardashian, and the internet still wanted Jordyn Woods canceled forever and ever. That is exactly what happens when the most powerful family in pop culture decides you are the villain of the season. The Kardashians don't argue with you. The Kardashians don't debate you. The Kardashians simply erase you from the cultural record. But here is where the story flips, and this is the part nobody is talking about with the right level of attention. Watch what Jordyn Woods did next, because the next move is the whole blueprint. Jordyn Woods didn't beg. Jordyn Woods didn't go on a 30-city apology tour. Jordyn Woods didn't start subtweeting at 3 in the morning. Jordyn Woods went completely silent. Jordyn Woods locked in. Jordyn Woods started a clothing line called Woods by Jordyn. Jordyn Woods started training, started sculpting a body that became a brand all by itself, started showing up to the gym with cameras off and discipline turned all the way on. Jordyn Woods got the receipts ready for a comeback that nobody in pop culture had the imagination to predict. Then Karl-Anthony Towns walked into the picture. And listen, Karl-Anthony Towns is not a side piece. Karl-Anthony Towns is not a clout chase. Karl-Anthony Towns is a top-tier NBA superstar, a former first overall pick, a 4-time All-Star, a man with generational money and a face card that simply does not decline at any door. And Karl-Anthony Towns looked at the same woman. The Kardashian machine tried to scrap, and Karl-Anthony Towns said, "That is my future wife. That is the woman I am building a family with." Karl-Anthony Towns put a ring on Jordyn Woods. Karl-Anthony Towns made Jordyn Woods a fiancé. Karl-Anthony Towns is treating Jordyn Woods like the prize Jordyn Woods always was. And then Karl-Anthony Towns went out and helped the New York Knicks win the franchise's first NBA championship in 53 years. 53 years. Read that number again. That is not a coincidence in the cosmic ledger. That is the universe writing checks the Kardashians simply cannot cash. And then came the orange bag. You guys have to understand the orange bag moment, because the orange bag moment is the entire revenge arc compressed into one accessory. Jordyn Woods started showing up to Knicks playoff games carrying a bright orange bag from Jordyn Woods' own line, Woods by Jordyn. The Knicks kept winning. Fans started calling it the lucky bag. Reporters started asking about the bag in the tunnel. And then Karl-Anthony Towns, in front of a wall of cameras, looked at the press and said the bag is undefeated. The bag is one of the greatest articles of clothing in the entire history of professional basketball. A franchise cornerstone superstar plugging Jordyn Woods' fashion line on national television during a championship run. Do you understand the math of that promo? You cannot buy that kind of placement with money. You cannot manufacture that with a publicist. That is loyalty made loud and broadcast in HD. Now stack that next to what Khloe Kardashian has. Khloe Kardashian has Tristan Thompson, a man who cheated through an entire pregnancy. A man who fathered a child with another woman while Khloe Kardashian was literally carrying his daughter. A man who reportedly had to be asked, almost negotiated, to consider a vasectomy after the latest chaos cycle. Jordyn Woods has a fiancé who is begging to put another ring on Jordyn Woods. Khloe Kardashian has a co-parent who needed convincing to stop having outside babies. Compare those two timelines side by side. Tell me which side of that story aged like fine wine and which side aged like an open carton of milk on the dashboard in July. And here's the part that should make every single person who piled on Jordyn Woods back in 2019 feel something heavy in the chest. The redemption is not loud. Jordyn Woods is not on Instagram firing back. Jordyn Woods is not dragging Khloe Kardashian in interviews. Jordyn Woods is not even fully out of Kylie Jenner's orbit. Jordyn Woods is still friends with Kylie Jenner, but the dynamic has completely inverted in the friendship. Kylie Jenner used to be the sun in that friendship, and Jordyn Woods used to be the moon. Now Kylie Jenner is the one pulling up to support Jordyn Woods. Kylie Jenner's own boyfriend, Timothée Chalamet, is allegedly a full groupie for Karl-Anthony Towns. The roles flipped without a single tweet from Jordyn Woods. The energy in the room just quietly changed. Pause for a second because this is the angle nobody else is touching. Everybody is covering the surface story. Jordyn Woods is glowing. Jordyn Woods is engaged. Karl-Anthony Towns is winning. The orange bag is undefeated. Cute, sweet, congratulations, move on. But the deeper story is this. Jordyn Woods accidentally became the first person in pop culture to ever beat the Kardashian PR machine without firing a single shot back. And the weapon Jordyn Woods used was not a clapback. The weapon Jordyn Woods used was time. The weapon Jordyn Woods used was distance. The weapon Jordyn Woods used was choosing a different man, building a different business, training a different body, and waiting. Just waiting. Letting the timeline do what timelines always do when the truth is on your side and the pen is in your hand. And while Jordyn Woods is being treated like a queen in courtside seats, look what is going on at the other end of this celebrity gossip galaxy. Megan Thee Stallion just broke up with Klay Thompson, another NBA star, and the Daily Mail dropped what is being framed as Klay Thompson's side of the story. Now, a source allegedly close to Klay Thompson told the paper that Klay Thompson wanted out of the relationship for a long while, that Klay Thompson was already contacting past flings before the breakup officially happened, which is just a polite legal way of saying Klay Thompson was already cheating in the back end. The same source said Klay Thompson called Megan Thee Stallion ghetto. That word, ghetto, that exact word in print, attached to a defense. The source said Klay Thompson was over the ghetto-ness, the way Megan Thee Stallion speaks, the way Megan Thee Stallion acts. Hold on, because I have to break this clown narrative down line by line. Klay Thompson allegedly thought Megan Thee Stallion was too ghetto, but Klay Thompson stayed with Megan Thee Stallion long enough to let Megan Thee Stallion throw Klay Thompson a luxury birthday party. Megan Thee Stallion brought out Bone Thugs and Harmony for Klay Thompson, a personal childhood favorite of Klay Thompson. Megan Thee Stallion was cooking for Klay Thompson, catering to Klay Thompson's family, posting couple content. Megan Thee Stallion now knows Klay Thompson hated filming. Megan Thee Stallion did everything a partner is supposed to do for a man. Klay Thompson now claims Klay Thompson never even truly liked that much. Read that again slowly because that is not a heartbreak story. That is a usage receipt with a date stamp on it. And here is where the source story gets really, really telling. The same insider said Klay Thompson felt lonely when Megan Thee Stallion traveled for work. So a global pop star with a tour schedule, with an album cycle, with a business empire that does not pause because Klay Thompson is sitting at home in silence, was supposed to dim Megan Thee Stallion's entire light, so Klay Thompson would not feel abandoned in a mansion. Klay Thompson wanted a stay-at-home girlfriend, but Klay Thompson chose one of the most in-demand women in music. That is not a Megan Thee Stallion problem. That is a Klay Thompson alignment problem. You do not get to date a hurricane and then complain about the wind ruining your patio furniture. Now the spiciest accusation in the entire article. The source claims Klay Thompson dated Megan Thee Stallion partially to feel more connected to the Black community. Klay Thompson is biracial. The source frames it as Klay Thompson being drawn to Megan Thee Stallion because Megan Thee Stallion gave Klay Thompson proximity to Black culture. Translation in plain English, somebody very close to Klay Thompson is suggesting Klay Thompson dated Megan Thee Stallion for racial social currency. That is not a flattering quote. That is a confession dressed up like a defense. If that is what your friends are leaking to the press to defend you, you do not have friends, you have witnesses for the prosecution. And let's address the elephant in the room. The article also says Megan Thee Stallion was still paranoid about the Tory Lanez situation. Megan Thee Stallion would not stop talking about Tory Lanez. Megan Thee Stallion needed security everywhere, even in remote, calm, low-risk places. Now, Tory Lanez is currently serving 10 years behind bars for shooting at Megan Thee Stallion's feet at a party in the Hollywood Hills. Megan Thee Stallion is not paranoid. Megan Thee Stallion is correctly responding to having survived a literal shooting. If your partner survived a violent crime and still needed security to feel safe at night, you do not leak that to the Daily Mail like Megan Thee Stallion was being dramatic. You hold Megan Thee Stallion's hand. You tighten the perimeter. You become part of the safety system, not part of the complaint to the tabloids. Here is the bigger picture nobody else is sketching out for you. There is a pattern emerging in real time across these celebrity stories, and the pattern is loud once you actually see it. Black women in proximity to famous men are being framed as the problem the second the man no longer wants the inconvenience of accountability. Jordyn Woods got framed as the homewrecker so Thompson could keep his image clean. Megan Thee Stallion is being framed as ghetto, loud, paranoid, too much, so Klay Thompson can rehab Klay Thompson's reputation after sliding into other women's direct messages the entire relationship. The story always starts the exact same way. He was the catch. She got lucky. She acted up. He had no choice in the matter. And the receipts always say something completely different. But here is the angle nobody else is brave enough to put on the table tonight. There are two different scripts being run in real time, and one of them just exposed the other one. Script 1 is the Khloe Kardashian and Klay Thompson script, where the man cheats, the man embarrasses you publicly, the man drags your name through the celebrity press, and you either stay or you go quietly while a friendly outlet writes Klay Thompson's defense for him in print. Script 2 is the Jordyn Woods script. Walk away clean. Build quietly. Glow consistently. Get chosen by someone who actually wants to be chosen by you back. Let the timeline do the heavy lifting. Let your fiancé hand you the microphone instead of handing you an apology 6 years too late after the fact. Megan Thee Stallion is right at the fork in the road between those two scripts right now. Megan Thee Stallion already chose to walk away. Megan Thee Stallion already let the streets know Klay Thompson cheated. Megan Thee Stallion already dissed Klay Thompson on the Boss Man Low Motion Party remix. And now Klay Thompson is trying to get a lick back through a Daily Mail insider quote. But here is where Megan Thee Stallion has to be very, very careful, because the Jordyn Woods playbook only works if you commit to the silence after the exit. Jordyn Woods didn't keep dragging the Kardashians for 6 straight years. Jordyn Woods stopped engaging completely. Jordyn Woods built quietly. Jordyn Woods let karma show up wearing a Knicks jersey and holding an orange bag. If Megan Thee Stallion can resist the urge to keep dunking on Klay Thompson, Megan Thee Stallion will be in a Karl-Anthony Towns level situation in 2 years, and the whole world will forget Klay Thompson ever existed in Megan Thee Stallion's timeline. Now let's talk about the part that should sting Klay Thompson the most personally. Klay Thompson's source said Klay Thompson hated doing couple content. Klay Thompson hated the security detail. Klay Thompson hated the entourage. Klay Thompson hated everything about it.
Cool.
Then why did Klay Thompson stay so long? Why did Klay Thompson eat the cake at the birthday party Megan Thee Stallion threw? Why did Klay Thompson smile through the Bone Thugs and Harmony Serenade? Why did Klay Thompson let Megan Thee Stallion cook every meal? Why did Klay Thompson accept the affection, the access, the body, the time, the brand alignment, the public co-sign? Because Klay Thompson liked the dish. Klay Thompson just didn't want to wash the plate after. That is the whole story in one sentence. And this is exactly the kind of behavior that Karl-Anthony Towns is making look so painfully ridiculous in comparison. Karl-Anthony Towns is not leaking anonymous quotes to the Daily Mail. Karl-Anthony Towns is not telling teammates Jordyn Woods is too much to handle. Karl-Anthony Towns is at the podium, with a championship trophy nearby, telling reporters Jordyn Woods' bag is one of the greatest articles of clothing in the entire history of basketball. One man is plugging his woman to the world on a microphone. The other man is unplugging his woman through anonymous sources in a tabloid. Choose carefully which template you want to attract. Choose carefully which template you want to be in the next chapter of your life. Now zoom back out to Jordyn Woods one more time because the orange bag is not the end of this arc. The orange bag is only the midpoint of the story. Watch what happens over the next 24 months very carefully. Jordyn Woods is about to walk down the aisle with a champion. Jordyn Woods is about to expand Woods by Jordyn into a real fashion house with retail footprints. Jordyn Woods is about to become the first young black woman to publicly survive the Kardashian cancellation pipeline and walk out the other side with a bigger life than the people who tried to end Jordyn Woods. That is not just a glow-up. That is a blueprint. That is going to be in case studies. That is going to be in business school decks. That is going to be in books about reputation rehab and brand resurrection. And every young woman watching needs to write this lesson down in permanent ink right now. The smartest revenge is not loud. The smartest revenge is geographic. Move. Move out of the friend group that uses you for content. Move out of the relationship that requires you to shrink to fit. Move out of the city that only knows the old version of you. Move out of the algorithm that punished you for one mistake on one bad night. Jordyn Woods did not win by yelling at anyone. Jordyn Woods won by relocating completely. Jordyn Woods relocated socially, romantically, professionally, and physically into a life where the people who tried to bury Jordyn Woods could not even reach Jordyn Woods' comment section anymore. And if you were sitting there thinking, well, Jordyn Woods is famous, Jordyn Woods is pretty, Jordyn Woods had options, this does not apply to me, hear this clearly. The principle scales down to your life, perfectly. The friend group that talks down to you in private. The man who tells you privately you are too much and publicly takes credit for being with you. The job that drains you for content while crediting somebody else with a win. The same exact playbook applies. Stop arguing your worth. Start building somewhere the argument simply cannot follow you. The receipts will arrive. The orange bag moment will come. The room that doubted you will eventually have to sit there and watch somebody hand you a championship ring on national television. So when you see Jordyn Woods in those Knicks courtside photos, smiling next to Karl-Anthony Towns, holding that orange bag like a quiet trophy, do not just see a celebrity gossip story. See a 6-year strategy. See a masterclass in patience, alignment, and refusing to dance for people who already decided you were the villain of the season. And when you see Megan Thee Stallion choosing between dragging Klay Thompson one more time or going dark and locking in, root for the dark. Root for the lock-in. Root for the next Jordyn Woods chapter to belong to Megan Thee Stallion. That is the receipt. That is the lesson. That is the entire blueprint sitting on a velvet courtside chair, holding one bright orange bag that beat a billion-dollar family without ever raising one single voice. Pass it onward. And as for Klay Thompson and the Daily Mail source and Khloe Kardashian and the Tristan Thompson saga and every man and every family that thought the cleanest move was to humiliate a young woman publicly to protect a mediocre man privately, the math is finally in. You lose this one. You always lose this one. The receipts compound interest like a savings account in a strong economy, and the women you tried to write off are out here cashing checks the universe quietly cleared in their name. Jordyn Woods cashed. Megan Thee Stallion is about to cash. And the only question left on the table is who is brave enough to walk before the next chapter starts without them. Tell me in the comments who you think is going to be the next Jordyn Woods to pull off a clean exit. Tell me who you think is currently running the Khloe Kardashian script and refusing to put it down. Tell me whether you think Klay Thompson's anonymous source is really a friend or a witness for the prosecution. And if you have ever had your own orange bag moment, the small quiet win that proved everybody wrong without a single argument, I want to read about it down below in the comments. Like the video if Jordyn Woods' redemption made you feel something real. Subscribe if you want the next deep dive when Megan Thee Stallion makes the next move on the chessboard. I will see you in the next one.
Bye.